Is there anything for this? I'm gonna turn on Instagram.
I like how it's that little light there.
Yeah, it's good to know that I'm live here now on our YouTube page. Guys, thanks for joining me this session of live chats. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to watch this me talk or whoever talk. It's pretty cool as we are making our four-way. I can't fucking talk today. That's really helpful. Into YouTube. So one of the things I thought I would discuss today is us as a podcast, because some of you here in YouTube might not know, because we're kind of new to YouTube, that we have a podcast, and you can get that on iTunes or Spotify and several other places wherever you get your podcast. And we've been doing it for about almost 4.5 years, maybe over that now. And it's basically what it is. It's me and three of my best friends, Kyle, Chris, and Mike, sitting around and talking about a cult film that we're watching either for the first time for some of us or for the 100th time for some of us. It's kind of doesn't really. There we go. That's better lighting. Doesn't get it hits in all places. For that, but it's so none of us I would say are film historians or crazy experts. We are just film fans. Chris is a filmmaker. I would say he's still making films, although I just got a big part. Can't talk about the movie yet, but just got a huge part in a movie. So keep an eye out for that. Probably going to be blockbuster status on that one, but they're gonna open up Blockbuster Video back open just for this movie. A lot of people are talking about it that much, but no, we were just four guys sitting around and talking about these movies and what makes them maybe cult films or classics in our opinion. So if you listen to us, I hope you feel like you're part of the show, like you're one of us, like you're hanging out in the room with us and you're talking with us about anything. So now what's going on here? Is it Ninja Cop 3? Is it I'm I may have missed the Ninja Cop 1 and 2. I'm not sure. But that's who we are and what we are. I was originally going to do, I did that I got the role for. No, that wasn't it. It was not that. That's not what I got the role for. But let me tell you, it's going to be a mega hit because I'm in it. And, that's what I do. I make hits. Okay. So, no. So just going back into the podcast, what we do, like I said, you can find us on Spotify, cultfilmandreview.com. We've got t-shirts, and we're also here on YouTube. You can check out some of our episodes. I think we have like 25 full video episodes up that you can watch now, or 26, somewhere in that range of videos that you can now watch. And then we do also, this is really cool, kind of ties into tonight. We do a live film series that you can every other month. We are showing movies at Film Bar here in Phoenix. So if you're in the Phoenix area, you can go watch movies with us that we've either reviewed on the show or we think is really important for an audience to see. And this is a great place, a local theater, for people to go and see them. So, and it gives, the great thing about Film Bar is it gives people like us a chance to go and show these movies and talk to people about these movies, which is like, you don't always get that from some of the big chains out there, so this is really cool for us as locals here in the Valley to get to go to a local place and just watch movies and talk about movies. It's pretty cool on the big screen. Seen some great ones. What are you guys up to tonight? Anything fun? Anything good? Ooh, tonight's live brought to you Monster Energy Drink. Make sure you get the big can because the small can just won't do it. That's Monster Energy Drink. Watching wrestling. I obviously am not watching wrestling right now. Haven't had a chance to watch wrestling in a while, unfortunately. Still keeping up as much as I can with um, Busted Open Radio, or the Busted Open podcast, which is like the cut down version of the show, which is a great. If you haven't, Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, and Mark Henry, fantastic show. I mean, those guys are amazing. It's an amazing show. I mean, some of the shit that comes out of Bully Ray's mouth as far as like creative and psychology, and even Mark Henry blew me away when I started listening to him, because I'm like, I've never been a huge Mark Henry fan, and it was never like, well, he was like a ring psychology genius, but hearing him talk, it's like he listened and he learned very well, because that guy has some great ideas too. And Dave LaGreca is just funny. He's a funny guy. And it's a great show. It is a great show. He does, man. It's great. He does know his shit really well. And that's the thing that impressed me, because again, you know, growing up watching wrestling, Mark Henry, like I was never a big Mark Henry fan, except for that heel turn he took when he was going to retire, and then, that infamous heel turn. That's when I kind of started paying attention to him. But it never struck me as like this guy who um this guy who was like, again, this ring psychology, knew this ring psychology so well, and like he'll come at stuff with perspectives. Like I was like, and again, I've been a fan of this for like years, like over 20 years of wrestling, and you think you know a lot, and then it's just like I don't know anything when I listen to those guys. So that's a really fun show. I really love Busted Open Radio and the Busted Open podcast. Like I've even thought about getting a serious like XM subscription because of that show. So, Cult Wrestling in Review would be a great show. What I would like to do with that, Chris, I'm glad you gave me that idea, would be to take myself and Chris Willenbrecht, Chris the Muscles Willenbrecht is what we'll call him, and put him in a room with me, and we will watch some wrestling, some bad wrestling, and we will call the match, because Chris knows nothing about wrestling, and that would be really funny to me. So I think it would work. Chris will make that happen. Cult Wrestling in Review. You got it, Chris. Done. Next creative project. We'll put that out there. I just watched a match that I've never seen before. I think Brian Harris from BS Movies may have posted it. And I'll have to go back and find it, but it was who the hell was it? I can't remember the wrestler who was in the match, but because I was so blown away by him wrestling fucking Freddy Krueger. And then as the match like broke out of control, Jason runs in for the save for Freddy, like runs in to save Freddy. And it was like the craziest shit I've ever seen. It was like a studio wrestling show. I don't know. Fuck, I can't remember it for the life of me. I'll have to see if I can dig it up, or I'll ask him. But I've never seen that before, and I thought I've seen fucking everything, and that shit blew me away. I was like, I've never even heard of this, and it was so terrible. Like, oh man, was it awful. It was some pretty good stuff. So I could show Chris something like that, and I'm sure he'd love to call a match like that. And he knows all the moves. He knows all the move names. He knows, he'd be good at that. Japanese wrestling, do I watch? I don't keep up with the as much as I try to. I can't keep up with the Japanese wrestling. I don't have the time with anymore to keep up with wrestling as much as I would like to. And it's hard. And plus, like, honestly, with like, I haven't, it's been rough because I haven't been into the WWE product for a while. I was real big into it up until about WrestleMania, and then after that, it just couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, So, mostly what I've been keeping up with is just all the news with like AEW and like how historic and crazy that whole situation is. And it's weird because like when you try to talk to non-wrestling fans about it, they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And you're like, you got to understand, like, there's been no competition for one company for like a long time. Now there's competition again, and like legit competition, and seeing this company start from the ground up, um, and then now NXT, Vince moving NXT to USA Television to combat it, is like it's just watching uh things you haven't seen in wrestling since the 90s when wrestling was at its peak starting up again. So it's kind of crazy to watch it all happen because it's very historical, and it is hard to explain to non-wrestling fans why this is why it's so exciting. It's just because we're now, I think it's a lot of exciting for a lot of people because you're hoping it inspires Vince McMahon to be better than what he's been doing. Like, this brings him back, but I don't think that's gonna happen just because XFL. He's XFL, so who knows? We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But Brick, who brought up Brick? I think someone's brought up Brick before. I can't remember who it was. It may have been Kyle. I want to say Kyle, but it might have been Chris or Mike. It wasn't me. I know that. But it has been brought up several times. So I'm not sure when that's coming up because we have so much stuff going on coming up. Like, there's so many, we have so many fan requests. It's hard to keep up at this point now. And then our own picks and guest picks. We're trying to get more guests on. We'll have a guest tonight for tonight's recording, which is a movie called Emmanuel in America, which I never saw before until it was chosen for us to watch. So we'll be talking about that tonight, and that will come out next week. So a Blue film like Blue Underground, I think, put it out. Is that what you mean? Because I do think Blue Underground put it out. If I'm not mistaken. I'm sure. Yeah, no, I'm sure that's going to be discussed too. But yeah, it's described as a sexploitation, but I think it borders on pretty much porno. But I don't know. It's gonna be fun to discuss because I think that can be an argument made either way after seeing this movie. So again, tonight's episode, not paying us a dime, but tonight's episode brought to you by Monster Energy Drink. Make sure you get the big can. It's what causes the heart attack. It goes down smooth. So smooth. Yeah, I would imagine they would be there. I'm sure they would be on Skinamax. This is the first one I've ever seen in the series. I didn't even know this was a series until, again, it was brought up. So something that you gotta stop. Something that you'll hear in the episode, I'm sure. They did it with Leprechaun. Worked for him. Worked for the Leprechaun. Saved his whole career. I was gonna do my top 10 list tonight, but that got thrown away, so I got to work on that again. I was gonna do my top 10 for horror films, but that one got thrown away, so don't have that ready. James, yeah, kind of. That will be an episode coming out next week that you can hear. So you will be able to tune in and hear all about what we think about Emmanuel in America. So, and if we think it's porn, not, and we're also talking wrestling, goes hand in hand. So, James, thanks for joining us. Sorry that we threw you off last week. We didn't know who was jumping on this week, but sorry to throw you off last week and do it on a Friday. We did not record. I think we had to record. We had to go around somebody. I don't remember. This is a common theme that I didn't even know this was a thing. I had no idea this was a thing where it's like this is some people's childhood we're about to talk about, apparently. I didn't know that was this was yeah. I didn't know this was going to be such a big deal. It'll be fun. This will be great. See what else can we talk about? September 13th, again, the burning Phoenix Film Bar. We'll be showing that, so make sure you guys come out for that. Okay, let me see. Dude, it's a movie with boobs, of course. It's a big deal. Well, I grew up with one TV and one computer. Yeah, had to sneak downstairs at night. No, I did too. I actually grew up with. Well, I had a TV in my room, but I don't like. Yeah, no like cable, and then one computer for sure. Yep, yep. It was the old Apple computer, like the teal one, the big teal bubble. Like you guys remember those ones when Apple made the comeback? Not at all, rich guy, dude. That was my 8th grade graduation present, dude. So I can make movies, skate videos, bro. Which I made a plenty of my friends. Not me. I wasn't very good. I was on there, but it was embarrassing. I should not have been on there. I actually had talented skateboarding friends. I was not one of them. Let's see. Who's better cult movies out right now? Blue Underground, Arrow Video, Severin Films, or Vinegar Syndrome? Wow. Man, that's really tough. I would probably lean more towards Arrow for me, just in like my taste and kind of what I like. But I mean, they all have titles that I like on them. Just if I was gonna go with who has like the most that I would enjoy, it would probably be Arrow, for sure, like 100%. But yeah, but no, and then it's so funny because I'm in a lot of like cult groups on Facebook for like Blu-rays, DVDs, stuff like that. Even though I'm not like real big into collecting too much of that stuff, like as far as that goes, like it's just fun to be in those groups. And dude, it's crazy how serious people are about this. Like, it's no joke. Like to the point where there's like it's weird. Like there's this weird company that I knew nothing about, but found out about it through groups of where people and the owner they like fight each other on social media. They just like talk shit to each other. It's a real weird relationship to the point to where like the owner like pulls titles from releasing, or the guy who's maybe not the owner, but the guy who's running it pulls titles from releasing because people are giving him shit online. Like it's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. It's a weird like that whole Blu-ray cult film collectors world is a very strange, very weird world. It's a very cool world to look into. So be honest, have you ever looked into the mirror and said, I'm like the Scotty Palmer coolest guy on the cult? Can I be honest? Scotty Palmer has been like I I said for like the longest time, I was like, Scotty Palmer's my hero. Like Scotty Palmer's the coolest dude in the world. Like, he's just, I mean, come on. Like he's Scotty fucking Palmer. So yeah. Yeah, I would say that. Saw Hobbies for the first time the other day. I like the buzz. Could have done without everything else. No, man, that movie is it's you know what? You should watch two then. You'll fucking hate yourself. Two is awful. Two is awful. I think one is like leave. It's got fucking Gaines in it. It's got Courtney Gaines in it. Come on. Like, and he's amazing. He flips you off in like 51 different languages. It is amazing. But if you haven't seen Hard Bodies, I recommend it. What's another movie, James, that you've watched because of us that you may not have seen before? Oh, The Burbs for sure. Like I love Hard Bodies, but Burbs is like top 5 all time. Top 5 all time for me. Like that movie is I think I don't know. I can speak for me and Chris, but that movie is like there's so many sweet spots in that movie where you're just like this is perfect. Perfect. I couldn't change it. This is perfect. Huge fan of True Stories. Generally enjoyed and hadn't heard of it. Yeah, that was one I hadn't heard of either. I don't remember my review on that one, but now like it's so weird because like it's weird when you start getting into so many of these films, your opinions on other ones change because of what you've seen. So I going back to that one, I would be interested to watch that one again just to see how I feel about it again because it is one of those ones where it's a different kind of movie. No, we have not done Two Lane Blacktop. No, haven't done that one. That's the thing. Like, that's the crazy thing is like, there's so many. Again, like when we started this podcast, it was funny. Like, we're like, we'll do cool films. Yeah, we know cool films. Like, worked at a video store. And then when you like start getting into it, and it's like, I'm like still 4 years in, over 200 films in, and I still realize. And people will be like, well, you guys like, you've seen so many films, like you guys are the experts. It's like, don't call us that. Like, no, like there's still so much out there. Like we will never call ourselves experts, so don't call us experts. And that's crazy. Like it just keeps going. There you go. Do you have any movies on VHS that you wish would come out on a DVD or a Blu-ray? That I have. They're actually most of them have already come out. That's the crazy thing, and it's like, um, the guy who did I can't remember his name. Um, blah, 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 did Zero Boys? The guy who did Zero Boys. Like a lot of his stuff. I have one of his movies on VHS. It's escaping me right now, but like I was like, oh, that's never gonna come out. That we'll never see this out on on Blu-ray. And sure as shit, came out on Blu-ray like last year. So everything it seems like almost everything's getting picked up now. It's just in like what like you asked earlier, what collector's form do you want it? Like that's how it's going. That is a good question. I would like to do if we do delve into older episodes and go into different movies because yeah, when we started this, we didn't know what we were doing, and it took us. We were learning on the job, man. Like it took us a long time to figure stuff out and to kind of get in a groove and start going. So I do think there is movies that we should revisit, but if we do it, I think we should do it in a place like this, YouTube, and do it in video form, different format. Give something people a little different. Give them two different versions. You know. For House, the American version. What if we did the second story? I love the second story. As a wrestling fan, how have you not chosen No Holds Barred or another wrestling movie? I've been teetering on No Holds Barred for so long, but it's such a bad movie. Like it's really it's really hard for me to pick. And then I haven't gone like I could go with like Mr. Nanny or did we do because I think we brought up Suburban Commando, but I don't think we did Suburban Commando. I think Suburban Commando has been brought up before too. I'm trying to think. But yeah, it's definitely been they've definitely been discussed. Like No Holds Barred has been threatened for a while. Has been yeah. Second Story is better. I like Second Story. I do like Second Story a lot, but the first one's really good too. Like Houses, like the first two, like those are solid. Second Story is just fun. Like it's just a fun movie where like there's parts of one where you're like, oh, this gets a little serious. it does rule in a shit sort of way. Like it is like for as wrestling fan kids, like yeah, the old bars is like that's some cool shit. Like you gotta like it's that movie. Oh, but then but now look what like WWE Studios is doing. Like, didn't they put out? I think they're the studio that put out fucking like Oculus or some shit. And they did the Kane movies. I don't know if they'll go back to that, but someone's got to before Disney buys them out. They're next. It's a matter of time. Again, tonight's episode live is brought to you by Monster Energy Drink. Get the large can. Oh, that's the other thing. I just got sent. Speaking of Blu-rays, and like, is there movies that you would ever think? Here's one that Santa with Muscles is coming out on Blu-ray. Santa with Muscles is coming out on Blu-ray. Brother Ryan just sent me that shit the other day. I'm like, what the fuck? Santa with Muscles? Like, who even remember? I forgot about Santa with Muscles until he sent me that. And I was like, they're putting that out on Blu-ray? That shit is coming out on Blu-ray. Like, is Little Hercules next? Like, like, what was it? Tropic Thunder is fucking, or Thunder in Paradise, whatever his fucking show was. Is that next too? I should tell Chris that. Put that out. It's $1 million idea. But all right, guys. Well, we are winding down here. But before I go, remember September 13th, if you're in the Phoenix area, we'll be at Phoenix Film Bar and we will be watching The Burning. Okay, so that's going to be a really good one. If you have not seen that movie, pretty much kind of Friday the 13th-esque movie, but with Jason Alexander and Fish Stevens. And is it Holly Hunter? I can't remember if it's her or another actress that looks like her. I can't remember. But they're all in it, and this movie is so much fun. So I'm really excited to screen this movie. It is a lot of fun. So please, if you are in Arizona, come out to this. It will be a really good time, and can't wait to show that. And then make sure you follow us on social media at Cult Film in Review on Instagram, at Cult Film _review on Twitter. And then make sure you hit the thumbs up, guys, if you like this video. Make sure you leave comments. Make sure you ring the bell, because that gives you notifications when we go live. So that you can do this. You have so many Congo-based questions. I wish we had the time. Where were you earlier? I could answer all of them. And hopefully we'll get some answers to some Congo questions. And so I'll do that next time. Cody takes your Congo questions. By the way, worst review ever from that turd from today's podcast. Yeah, one of the things I was explaining in the beginning of the show is kind of what we are, of this live stream, of what we are. I think a lot of people take us as or look to us to be, again, as experts and kind of like these educators, and we're just four of the best friends sitting around talking about movies, because we love movies, and we just wanted people to feel like they're our friends and hanging out. We're not here to tell you all knowledge bomb, break eggs of knowledge all over you. We're not here to do that. We're here just to talk fun, give you our insights on these movies, and have a good time. And we hope that you do too when you listen to us. So, but I'm gonna sign off here and go record an episode. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. I'm not sure who will be on next week, but stay tuned for that.